is not gonna do it. If you can turn your cameras on, please do. It makes it a lot more fun for me to talk to you guys. But for those of you that don't know who I am, hello, my name is Courtney. I've been in the business for, it'll be 8 years next month, which is just crazy. But I started because I was just drowning in credit card debt. And to be very honest, for the first 2 years, I kept looking at what this business was doing for so many other people. And I was like, wow, that's so cool for them, but that'll never be me. And put a 1 in the chat if that resonates with you, where it's like, that's such a cool thing. Like, I love that for them. And I'm 100% jealous because I don't think it'll ever be me. Okay. And I wanted to get really real about that because I think it's something that a lot of us struggle with, where we look at other people's success and we look at other people's things and we're like, wow, I wish that could be me. Right? How many of you have said that? Like, oh, I wish I could have a reel go viral. I wish I could sign customers like this person. I wish I could sign distributors. I wish I had that team. I wish. Right. And that is so commonly thought of. And I feel like it's something that nobody really talks about. The comparison game in this business is so hard because the problem is that this business is such a social media business, right? Like, we know if Sally Joe signed a customer today because it's on her story with the screenshot, right? And so the comparison of looking left and right is like, gosh darn it, maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe I'm not supposed to do this. Maybe this isn't for me, right? Like, those thoughts go in our head. And I feel like it takes a random thing to happen. And I wish I could wave a magical wand and just like bop you on the head with it so it would come together. But it takes something to happen for something to break, to come together differently. Right? You have to have something happen where you're like, you know what? I don't care anymore. Because a lot of times, and I don't know if this is something you guys are even going to admit that you do, right? But we go through the motions to say that we're doing them, but in the back of our head, deep down, we don't think anything's going to come from it. Deep down, we don't think we're going to hit the success we're saying we want. Deep down, we don't think we're going to have the money and the team and the success and all the things, right? But we're going to do the things anyways. We're like halfway in, halfway out, right? Like, you might be like, I'm sending 75 post messages a day, but while you're sending them, you might be like, I don't know why I'm even doing this. No one's even going to answer, but let me just send the messages because Courtney said to, so whatever, right? I'm glad you guys are admitting to that because that is something a lot of us do. And I was there for so long where I was going through the motions, right? Like, I was doing the things, I was half in, I was half out, but I never believed the success was good enough for me. And what I mean by that is I never thought the success was something I could do. I knew the business could do it because I saw 7,042 people doing it every single day, right? You see all these people with enrollment, and bonus and distributor and this and that and this. And you're like, okay, well, I can't get a host post up today to save my life, but you go, girl, right? Like, you know what I'm talking about, right? Like, if you're in the trenches and you're like, gosh darn it. Okay, here's what I need you to hear. And I want you to know that literally this happened because I was reading my devotional this morning. And let me see if I can find it. I don't even know what, oh gosh. I will read it to you guys in a second, but I want you to know, you guys, what God can do for another, he can do for you. But 2 things need to come with that. Really 3. 1, you need to ask for it. 2, you need to believe you're going to get it. And 3, you need to put the work behind it. And a lot of times we're doing 1, maybe 2 of those 3. Right? Let me see if I can, I don't know, like, you guys, normally I wing these Zooms and, I wing these Zooms and I'm like, I don't have a plan. And now as I'm looking through my devotional, I don't know why God gave me this because it doesn't go with my devotional. So this is, if this is for you and you're like, I needed to hear this, let me know, because now I thought it was like, oh, it came from my devotional. It didn't. It's not what that's about. I don't know. This message just came. I have 700 devotionals. This is one. It's called The Good and Beautiful Bible Study by Alabaster. I just started this one. And then I do this one, Quiet Times with God devotional by Joyce Meyer. And then I do a gratitude journal, which is just like little things in the morning and at night. And then the Thrive Bible. Okay. And so what I want you to hear, you guys, so many times we're going through the motions of this business and we're thinking of all the things that would be nice, right? And we're treating this business like it's a lottery ticket, right? Do you guys see what I'm saying by that? Like, we're hoping that one day we just get lucky. Like it just comes together, right? Like it just like happens and it falls out of thin air and you're like, cool, I don't know what just happened. I promise you, if you're in that mindset, it's never going to happen. This business is not a lottery ticket. This business has nothing to do with getting lucky or picking the right number or the right card, okay? This business is a blank check, and it is up to you to fill out that paycheck. But you guys, a lot of times, how many of you have heard the story where it's like you ask God for a cake and he gives you the flour and the sugar and the eggs and all the things, and you're like, I wanted a cake, man. And he's like, gave you all the stuff to make 700 cakes, but you wanted me to give it to you, right? And I think a lot of times we're just sitting there waiting for this big monumentous thing that like comes and whips us in the face and we're like, oh my God, we can do it now, right? Like you're waiting for someone to join your team and sign 700 customers in a day, right? Or you're waiting for someone to join your team that's like you. How many of you have said that? Like, oh, I wish I could sign a distributor that does what I do, right? I know we've all said that. Here's the thing. This business does not fall out of thin air. Your paychecks are not just going to happen. You need to put the work in while believing that work is worth it. Do you see what I'm saying? The difference there? I don't want you to just send host post messages, but in the back of your head be like, I'm just going to send these so I can get over with and I can go sit on the couch. Raise your hand or put a 1 in the chat if you've been there. Like, I'm just going to do it, but I don't think anything is going to come from it. I'll do it just to shut up my upline and say that I sent the messages. Melody, I saw you raising your hand. Hey, girl. Hey, girl. Hey. You guys, I've been there. I've been there where like it's almost like you guys know when you're in a bad mood and you don't know why you're in a bad mood, but you don't want to stop being in a bad mood. So you're just mad. You guys know what I'm saying? Y'all know what I'm saying. Like, you're like, I'm mad at my husband. I don't know what you did, but you did something and I'm mad. Okay. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of the same thing with the business. You guys, like, you're in a bad place. Things aren't coming together and you don't know why, but like, you're also not, you're like, I'm just in a bad place and I'm just going to be in a bad place and I'm just going to be mad about it. And I'm just going to, you guys, you know what I'm saying? You're in this mindset of like, I'm going to stay in this bad place so I can get on a phone call with so-and-so and be like, I still am here. Right? Almost like I'm going to do the things and prove that I'm still here. How many of you guys is this resonating with where it's like, yeah, a little bit, right? You need to decide that you're not going to be here anymore. Okay. You need to decide and figure out in your head what needs to change so that you're not here anymore. Okay. You don't need to be here. You don't need to be stuck. You don't need to be broke. You don't need to be in a job that you hate. You don't need to be living paycheck to almost paycheck because it never makes it there. You don't need to be feeling like you can't do it. You don't need to feel like you're not worth it. You don't need to feel like you're not enough. Okay? Those dreams in your heart, you guys, God gave you for a reason. God has given you those things and he has showed you these other people that it is doing this, not to make you jealous, not to make you wish you were them, not to make you wish that you were someone different, right? God is showing you those things as an example of what he can do for you. Those are things he can do for you. Okay? And I want you to be so crystal clear on this. Look at those people and say, like, what is it about them that I want? Okay? And if it's someone that their page makes you mad, it gives you an icky feeling inside, unfollow them. I don't care if it's me. I don't care if you're on my team and you're like, Courtney, your posts make me mad. Cool. Unfollow me. Okay? And I don't say that from a mean place. I don't say that from like a whatever, but you guys, this business is all right here. And you want to know how I know that? Because the difference is, how many of you send 50 plus host post messages every single day without fail? Now, how many of you have signed, what am I at? 14 customers and 7 distributors this month? If you send that many messages and you're not there, raise your hand if you wish you were. Okay. Tell me why the same effort between me and you yields different results. Right? And I know so many of you guys have thought that. How come I do what Courtney does and she gets the distributors, she gets the customers? How come I do what this person does and she's here, 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 and here, and she's making thousands a month and I'm making $52, right? I know you guys have thought that because I've thought that. You want to know the difference? Right here. Right here. Because I know my host post messages are going to get into a host to post. And I know my host to posts are going to get into potentials. And I know my potentials are going to get into different distributors and customers. Okay. It just takes one post. Do you know that I had a gummies host to post that got 76 comments? 76. Some of you guys haven't gotten 76 comments in a host to post in 3 months combined. You want to know why? Because you think it's pointless. If I'm going to be real with you and you're going to be real with yourself, you don't think it's worth it. You don't think it's working. You don't think you're going to get the customers. You don't think you're going to get the distributors. Put a 2 in the chat if you're like, if I'm being honest with myself, that's true. Okay. And it's okay if you don't want to admit it. Okay. So you guys like, yeah. Right? Because you feel like you're just running in a wheel, right? Like you're like, I don't even know. I'm just doing the things to do the things. But I don't think it's going to get anywhere. It's the same gummy hop I've been doing for years. It's the same one. Testers needed. If you could chew, blah, 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 blah. Whatever. It's the same one that everyone does. It's nothing fancy. And that's what I'm saying, you guys. It's nothing different. I don't have a magical sauce. How many of you, I don't know if you guys saw the post that Sam Kutcher reached out to me and she was like, hey, can you make a post for Road to VIP? And I was like, sure, but you're not going to like it, because she wanted me to give tips. Right. And I said, the problem is everybody's looking left and right on all these different Zooms and wondering what their secret sauce is, when the secret sauce is we believe in it and we're consistent. That's the secret sauce, is that you're sending messages to get the messages out. And you're sending messages, even though you don't think, even if they do post, you're not going to get any comments. Right. I'm sending messages and I'm like, ooh, that one of these people is about to blow the heck up. Right. That's what's different. Okay. So I see message after message after message. I feel like no one's responding to my messages. I couldn't tell you how many people don't respond to my messages. That's how many messages I send, because I don't focus on people that don't respond. I don't focus on what isn't happening, because guess what happens when you focus on what isn't happening? Guess what's going to keep happening? Nothing, because you're focusing on the nothing that's happening. Right? You need more people, go friend more people. You guys, I had to start a brand new Facebook because my original one got locked down for a while. Now my new Facebook is better than my old one. There is nothing special about me. There is nothing special about my wording. There is nothing special about anything I do besides the fact that I believe in this business and I believe in myself. Okay? And a lot of you guys going through your daily task list are looking for reasons of why it isn't working, right? You're looking for ways that it's not working. You're like, oh, I'm locked out and this person won't answer me. And I sent this girl and this and that and this and that, right? Like we all have like, oh, this isn't working because of this and that is happening here. And right? I don't know what's not happening because I'm focused on what is. You cannot just accept defeat, you guys. You can't. Okay, you guys, here's the thing. Here's what I want you, because this business, we get so in our heads about things that aren't working. So many of you guys know that I used to work in insurance sales, okay? I had to make cold calls every single freaking day. You guys think host-to-host messages are hard? I had to go through a freaking phone book and call random people. They didn't ask for me to call them. They don't know who I am. I'm literally calling them saying, hi, my name is Courtney. I'm with American Family Insurance. I'm calling to see if I can give you a car insurance quote today. Do you know how many people cussed me out? Do you know how many people hung up on me? Okay. But you guys, if I let one little problem stop me, I would have been fired. Okay. Straight up. Can you imagine if in that job where I had to make 200, 300, 400, 500 phone calls a day, if I went to my boss's office and I was like, Rick, first person that I called, the number didn't work. And I don't know what to do. Right? It sounds really dumb. I see all of y'all laughing. He'd be like, okay, like there's 700 people to call. Why are you focused on this one that isn't? Like, great. And if I did that multiple times, he'd be like, this just isn't the job for you. You got to go. Right? And I'm being honest. Somebody once asked me in this business, how would you work if the Pentecosts were sitting in your office with you? How would you work if the Alcalas were sitting in the office with you? How would you work if I was sitting there, or the Duns, or whoever you look up to? How would you work if we were sitting there? Okay? And I want you to be honest with yourself here for a second. How many of you, I know you guys were all raising your hand, I want a distributor like me. I want a distributor like me, right? How many of you, if you had a distributor like you, with the enrollments you have, would you be happy with their enrollments, or would you be mad? Because a lot of times, I'm going to guess the answer is you'd be mad. Right? You'd be like, girlfriend, look, what are you doing? Right? But we're so in our heads about what's not working. And we're so jealous of what is working for other people. Right? You can be honest. You might have just gotten a little bit mad at me when I'm like, I'm at this many customers and distributors, right? Put it in the chat if you're mad. If you were like, that was rude. I don't want to know about it because I'm not there. I wish I was there and you're bragging, right? I remember being mad on Zooms where I was like, you think you're all that? You think you're so cool? Okay. You guys don't act like you've never thought that. Okay. Don't act like you have not. Okay. You know you have. Okay. I remember being mad, and it wasn't because I was mad at them. They weren't doing anything wrong. What I was mad at was that my mindset could not convince me that that could happen for me. Okay. What I was mad at was that I felt like God picked them to be a favorite, and I was just like this lone wolf that God was like, not you, right? I was mad that I was like, what the heck is the problem with me that I can't be like her? Why can't I have that paycheck? Why do I have to sit here broke when she's got 10 grand a month? Right? It's okay to be mad. Okay? It's okay to be mad. And I want you to hear this. It is good that you're mad because you are hungry, right? Because you want this to work. What I need you to do, though, is to take that anger and that icky feeling in your chest that's like, right? When you think about the business, I need you to take that and work on convincing yourself that you can do it too. And that the success is for you too. That the success is not just for this person or that person or that person. It is for you too. And I promise you the difference between where you are now and where you want to be is believing that you can actually get there. Right? You're sitting there waiting for someone to hand you a golden ticket from Willy Wonka. Okay? That's how some of you guys are treating this business. You think you just have to get lucky. Okay, you guys, I want you to be honest with yourself and be honest in the chat. How many of you have thought that? Like, oh, they just got lucky. I do the same thing. They just got lucky. Right? It's not a matter of luck. This business has nothing to do with luck. This business has everything to do with hard work, consistency, and belief. Okay? You have to believe in yourself. You have to believe in the company and the products. And you have to believe that God can do it for you too. Because he can. And I don't want you guys, I'm going to be honest. Okay, can we get real for a sec? Let's get real for a sec. If you guys don't fix this mindset, if you don't fix this a year from now, half of you are not going to be in the business anymore. At least. Okay? I'm going to be honest. Because you can only deal with this feeling for so long. You can only deal with that feeling of feeling inadequate and like something's wrong with you and like it's not right. That icky feeling, your body can only handle it so long until you're like, I can't do it. Okay? You have to push through this. You have to. Because a year from now, if you're not in the business, you're still going to be broke and you might be broker. Or you can deal with this and figure out what the issue is And a year from now, you can look totally different. You guys see story after story after story after story of what God has done for other people in this business, right? And I asked a couple leaders, you guys, the amount of stories that I've gotten of people telling me they've brought in 3,000+ BV between the 25th and the end of the month is insane. How many of you, if you brought in 3,000 BV, but by the end of the month would hit a promotion? Okay, a lot of freaking hands. Okay, a lot of hands. I'm gonna do some math real quick. Okay, that's only 37 30-day drops. Okay, now you might be like, that's gonna report like, Let me tell you, when I promoted to double diamond, I had one person working on my team. And she joined a week before I promoted to double diamond. Okay. Hear that. Okay. On the last day of the month, I woke up needing 3,200 BV to promote to double diamond. And I got it done in a day. Let me rephrase that. I didn't get it done. God got that done. Because I had the belief it could. I remember calling Lindsay. I don't know if she's on here. I remember calling and be like, I'm getting it done. And she'd be like, oh, do you have customers lined up? And I was like, no, but it's going to happen. And she was like, you know, today is like the last day of the month, right? Like you know that, you're aware it's October 31st. Yep. Hear that. October 31st. Okay. Halloween, mind you. Okay. Okay. Yep. Yep. When everyone's like, oh shoot, Christmas is coming up. Yep. This is when it happened. Okay. She was like, you know this. And I'm like, no, it's coming together. And I knew deep down in my heart that it was. And so it wasn't a worry. I just knew it was going to come together. Right. And so if God can do that for me, why can't he do it for you? And so here's what I want you to hear, right? Okay. So 3,000 BV, right? Put in the chat right now, how much you need to hit your promotion, whatever you need. And if you don't know, that's your first problem. 200 BV. That's it. Was that a typo? Do you mean 2,000 or do you mean 200? Because if it's 200, you're just going to get it done. 800. Okay. You guys. Okay. We're going to go with 2,000. That's about the average. Okay. That's 22. Camilla, it's actually 200. You better get that done today. What the heck? That's nothing. Oh my gosh. I want you to message me when you get it done. You're going to get it done. It's no if, ands, or buts. It's going to get done. Okay. The average I'm seeing is 2,000. Okay. How many of you have at least one person working on your team? Almost all of us, right? If you're on here, you probably have someone working, right? Okay, so here's what I want you to say. Here's what I want you to get in your head. I want you to first convince yourself that your next host to posts for the rest of the month are going to be worth it. That your messages are going to lead to host posts, which are going to lead to potentials, which are going to lead to enrollments. That's the first and foremost thing. Okay. 2,000 BV is 25 30-day drops. That's it. Okay. What I want you to do, I would say that's going to take about 250 host to posts. Now, I know you might be like, it might be less than that. Okay. I signed a customer the other day that was 310 BV. That would finish a lot of your guys' promotions, right? Right? Okay. But say you have 2 people working on your team. That would be 80 host to posts per person. Okay. Now there's 6 days left in the month, right? 6, is that right? Something like that. Okay. It's like 12 host to posts a day. Figure it out. Stop telling yourself this business is so hard. Stop telling yourself your dreams and your goals are so far away. Because in reality, they're close in your life. They're far away in your mind. They're close in your business. They're far away here. And you need to know that's the difference. That's the difference. That's the missing piece. Okay. What God can do for another, he wants to do it for you. And so I need you to fix this part. Okay. Because why not you? Why not? And I bet if I asked you that question, most of you guys wouldn't have an answer, right? If I said, why don't you think it can happen for you? Does anyone have like a legitimate answer where you're like, because of this? No, we're all like, I don't know, just can't. Just not me, right? I'm just not the lucky one, right? You don't have an answer. You don't know. You're like, I don't know. I don't think it's possible, right? You don't have a legitimate reason. You don't have a real reason to doubt. But you're choosing doubt because it's what you're used to. You're choosing doubt because you're more comfortable here being broke because that's where you've always been. In the future, those goals, it's unknown, right? You might have little thoughts in the back of your head like, how am I going to lead a team? How am I going to train a distributor? How am I going to do this? How am I going to do that? Right? We have all these thoughts in our head of what can go wrong, right? Stop focusing on that. Stop telling yourself all the things you can't do and all the things that are wrong with you and how you're not a lucky one and how this can't be for you, because it can. And you guys, like I said, I thought this was tied to my devotional. And when I read the devotional, it has nothing to do with it. Nothing. So I don't know who this message was for. I don't know who's on this Zoom that's like, I needed this. And if that's you, put it in the chat, or just, I want you to know that God wanted to speak to you through me. Okay. If that's you, I want you to know that God has a plan for you. I want you to know that God has a plan for you. Okay. I was looking at the camera because someone needed to know that. He has a plan for you. He has a plan for the company, but he has a plan for you. But you need to believe the plan is there. You need to believe that that is there, that it's not some far out lottery ticket dream. You have to believe it's real. You have to believe it's possible. Okay? Get your mind right and it's going to come together. I love you guys. I will post this on my YouTube tonight.